So, does your Jeep have a Clinton?
Yes, it does.
That's the real question. Is a veteran. What branch of the service did you serve in?
Air Force.
Air Force. What years were you in?
I don't even remember anymore.
That's okay. Thank you for your service, Clinton.
Yes, sir.
Welcome back to another episode of Eric's Camping Adventures. We're going to go on another search today looking for some beautiful places. Hey, I'm headed out for that little test drive, and this is the post-test on some of the changes that I have made, and we're going to make a little stop first. Whenever you go to visit some older folks, you should always keep in mind that they don't have the social relationships that younger people do. And oftentimes they are quite lonely. People don't really realize how lonely the elderly can be. So always schedule a time to come and see them. Make sure that they have time to anticipate that you're coming, so they really appreciate that you're going to show up. And it makes a difference. You want to make sure that they know you're coming, and they have that time period from the time you tell them they're coming to the time that you get there, and they can enjoy the anticipation of your coming. That is so important for older people. And then make sure you keep your appointment. Morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing good. Clinton, you're on video, so you better behave.
She, like that, see there? He's the only one that can do that.
Xander came over a while ago.
With a little bit of coffee in us, we updated each other about our families and just had a few good laughs. By the way, Joanna here has helped me to sew the annex on my rooftop tent several years ago when it tore. She had a heavy-duty sewing machine, and then she gave me that sewing machine when her eyesight went bad with a little macular degeneration. So now that sewing machine is mine, so we'll eventually be doing some sewing with that thing, especially with a tarp, to make something fit for the Jeep a little better.
One of my favorite students.
A slow learner. I have been good friends with Joanna and Clinton for about 10 years, and one of my secret assessments I was making this morning was whether Clinton could ride with me in the Jeep today. Push on up. Oh, there you go. There you go. You got it, sir. We are in, man.
Yeah.
Now watch your head up top. There you go. Clinton, we're in, man. Woohoo!
Yeah.
Good job. All right. The question is, what's your blood pressure now?
Sure you want her for an hour? Let me have her.
Okay.
Let me have her.
Recovery.
Well, I recognize
The high lift.
the high lift on it.
This thing has a really good turning radius. Look at that.
Yeah, it does have.
headed into the off-roading area below the Keystone Dam, where I at one time tested the Honda Pilot, and we did the pre-testing for the Jeep before the modifications and repairs. So now we're going to go down in there with Clinton, and I mean, you got to ask yourself, do you got a Clinton in your Jeep? So I'm thinking we're going to have a good time down here.
Absolutely.
And we're going to do a little post testing, and then we'll do a walk around the Jeep. You just tell me if it's hurting your back or anything, okay?
I won't hurt.
We're going to go up here into the shade, and then I'm going to air down a little bit. I'm just going to hop out here for a couple minutes, air down the tires with some deflators, and then we'll be heading on down the road.
At 29 and I find myself wondering what did happen to the last 10. I ran away with my life, fast forward, never turn back again. It's kind of funny that the more we pass time, the more we need to set them rewind. And 19 was the year I had to leave you, but now I'm seeing all the signs. Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true. I'm just as surprised as you. Is this really happening? I can't be too sure.
I've been down this a million times, Clinton. Are you ready?
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever tried that one in the Honda Pilot, but it was pretty good.
Was in the last chapter. You gave me the soul I have today. Without you, I never could have moved away. But now I seek what you teach. I do believe I always should have stayed. Yeah. Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true. I'm just as surprised as you. Is this really happening? I can't be too sure. But one day I'll be yours again.
Airing down makes a huge difference on the sand.
Life lessons come one in a dozen. The other 11 do something from nothing. Life lessons come one in a dozen. The other 11 do something from nothing. Life lessons come one in a dozen.
Can you take your line?
Do something from nothing. Life changes, just open the door. One thing certain, I'll always be
Pull right here. It is an absolutely beautiful morning out here along the Arkansas River, and I am just doing some post testing with my 1993 YJ Wrangler, and I'm going to give you a little walk around and show you some of the different things I've done in order to go on a off-roading trip with my brother in Pennsylvania. We're going to have a good old time with my brother, my cousins, one of his sons, and hopefully the Jeep will get from Tulsa, Oklahoma to Pennsylvania, to the Bald Eagle State Forest, and hopefully it'll hold together. So just looking at the front of the Jeep here, we'll just pull right up. You can see simple things, recovery gear, a nice new Badlands 5500 winch for the front, You know, of course you had to paint the tow hooks red or the D-rings red. That's just not an option. I put some LED lights in for turn signals, and then these little fancy aftermarket little round headlights. They're LEDs. I'm figuring I'm going to be driving at night because of the time change, and I just wanted on this first trip kind of a guarantee that the lights would be bright while I was traveling. Put some BF Goodrich KO2s on it, 29-inch. I decided, because the drivetrain is older, that a closer to stock tire would actually be better for the drivetrain rather than a 32-inch and all the leverage that provides against the drivetrain. So you can see that the hood, I repainted it with Rust-Oleum Sunrise Red right out of a can. And I just couldn't take the house paint that was on it. It was black in the center, red on the sides. That's all gone now. I will eventually get to the rest of the Jeep. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I may actually rhino-line it. I looked at the prices for that, and it's pretty inexpensive and very durable. But you can see there's some holes in here. Talked to a guy about how to take care of that, and then to get that painted up. So went back to the stock rims. As you walk around, there's my recovery hooks in the back. They did put a new exhaust on it. I went back to the original fender flares. The other ones were for some 32s that were very wide. Again, I didn't want that. I didn't like the look, and it actually looked kind of silly. If you saw the images in my garage with those old fender flares on it with these small tires, but now it kind of looks the way it should. All right, let's get under the hood. So under the hood, I really have not done a tremendous amount of any consequence. I did do my valve cover gasket so I could rule out any other major oil leaks, and there doesn't seem to be any. There's just nothing on my oil pan running down at this point. So I'm pretty happy about that I ruled out the upstream leak, and there's nothing major. Actually, there's nothing dripping off my oil pan. I fixed the vacuum lines, mentioned that in a previous video, so now the crankcase can vent properly back to the intake. I did put new hoses on the radiator, heater core. As you come around here, you can see I installed a little air pump here. The purpose of that is to air up. Hopefully that will make it easier when we go to leave today. And a little switch on the back of it, it's direct wired. And nothing too fancy. I did wire in the turn signals here for the lights. But not too much under the hood. I did put a little security feature on the battery so that we can disconnect that, just to frustrate people who might be interested in it, and a little lock here for the hood so they get even 2 steps of frustration. Maybe they'll quit, right? And they won't take it. Maybe they'll just damage it but not take it. Terrible to have to think that way, but you do nowadays. On the inside of the Jeep, let's come around here. On the inside of the Jeep, I haven't really done anything very expensive, but it sure does look different from what you'll find on my original video. I put some new rugged ridge seats in. They're just vinyl. They look very nice at the moment. I don't know how they'll hold up, but You'll see us in this in future videos, so you'll find out. I put some black carpet in the bottom, primarily because I'm taking my first trip in the winter, and I want a little bit of insulation between that cold floorboard and me. Basically, everything else in here is right here in the steering column. Put the original steering wheel back on. Got the turn signals working properly. Wiper controls working. Horn works. And I guess that's the basics. Cleaned it up. Used a lot of Armor All. And that is the inside of the cab. I will show you how I've done some storage in the back here just briefly. This is crammed full from a recent camping trip. It's not very pretty, but you can see I'm jammed all the way across the back here with different things. And then you get up here, you can see there is a 3/8 inch plywood. I have that mounted with my old frame, super strut frame that was in the Honda Pilot. I just resized it a little bit, and then I clamped with some fence post clamps directly onto the roll bar to hold it up, and I leveled it out, and then the rest of my equipment sits right on top of that. And I do have some straps installed. It's kind of a mess now because I didn't clean up from my last camping trip, and I'm packing for another one today, so no reason to get too excited till I start packing for the next one. It was not when I got it, Clinton. It was a mess. This looks cooler. Jeeps are very capable vehicles, sir. Just stock right off the floor of the showroom, and they just go. I mean, that's just 4 low. It's not too low or anything. I think if you treat them right,
Yep.
they'll last you a while. But I think we could probably get up any of these today, but we're not going to try that, Clinton. We'll just go down to the secret place and we'll turn around. I have not been ever able to drive in here in second gear before. It just is lugging really nice, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
That's what airing down will do for you. So I took my daughter back on some of these little things, but I wasn't real confident getting out to see what what it looks like when we go by. We can get out there. Maybe we'll do it. Who knows? Might try that, Clinton, in low. Put it in low range, see if we can crawl out. When we came back in here, it had just rained, so it was kind of a mess. It's a little too rough. I'm not high enough up.
Because he had a problem.
He did. At least with his driver's side window, if nothing else, right?
Yeah. Decided he wasn't ready to take it home, so he told his wife.
That might be the solution. He did not want to tell his wife what happened, right?
It's trouble out there.
Yeah, they're all right. All right, Clinton, what do you think? Shall we try it?
Oh, yeah.
That wasn't even a challenge, was it?
It wasn't even a challenge at all.
Oh, you okay?
It's all right, no problem.
Well, I thought that would be a little bit more of a challenge, Clinton.
Yes, I did. It wasn't.
Just gave it a little more gas. Here we are, right where we started.
Never really know what's going on. Look at me sometimes like all you want to do is run. Hear me out, hear me out. It's all the things you never show. There are the things I want to know. Secrets start in your heart so slow. But if you don't wanna tell me now, I guess I'll never know. Losing almost all my energy. It's getting hard to talk to you when you're the only one who speaks. It's all the things you never show. There are the things I want to know. Secrets start in your heart so slow. But if you don't wanna tell me now, I guess.
Hey, thanks for joining me for another episode of Eric's Camping Adventures. I think we passed the post test. I think all the essential things are working, and you join me next time for a trip to Pennsylvania. You're gonna have to skip a week here, and then we'll get back to a little bit of a adventure in the Bald Eagle State Forest. Yeah, I might be ruining my video there. Just saying.
There comes another loader. No
Yeah.
loader.
Clinton, I think that was a blast. That's not even a challenge for this thing, was it?
No, not at all.
Well, I think the real test of this Jeep is going to be in the Bald Eagle State Forest. Come back.